So we all think we know the present simple tense, right? I mean, I walk, she runs. It seems so, well, simple. But what if I told you that the basic rules you learned are actually what might be holding your English back? Today, we're going to go beyond the basics and unlock the secrets that really separate good English from fluent, natural-sounding English.
So, I've got to ask, do you really know the present simple? Are you sure? Because what if I told you it's secretly a future tense too? Or that some of the most common verbs in English follow this hidden rule that tons of learners just completely miss? Well, stick around because that's exactly what we're about to get into.
Okay, let's start with the classic. How does this sentence sound to you? I am understanding this. It sounds a little clunky, doesn't it? This is hands down one of the most common mistakes out there. The correct, natural way to say it is, I understand this. And we're about to dig into exactly why so you can nail this every single time. All right, the whole secret to fixing that mistake comes down to what I call the #1 rule for this tense, and that is understanding the huge difference between a state and an action.
This brings us to this really important idea of stative verbs. Look, think of it like this. Action verbs are things you can do, right? You can run, you can cook, you can eat. But stative verbs, they describe a state of being. Things like feelings, thoughts, or owning something. And here is the golden rule. Even if that state is happening right now, we almost always use the present simple for these verbs, not the ing form.
Here is a perfect example from the world of thoughts and feelings. You would just never hear a native speaker say she is wanting a coffee. Wanting isn't a physical action she's doing. It's a state, an internal feeling. So the right way to say it is simple. She wants a coffee.
And we see the exact same logic with possession. Owning a car isn't an action you're actively doing in this moment, like driving it. It's a fact, a state of being. And that's why we say, he owns a car. So the big takeaway here? For any verbs about thinking, feeling, or possessing, just stick to the present simple.
All right, now for a really fun one that kind of feels like you're breaking the rules. We're always taught that the present simple is for right now or for habits, but get this, it can also be your own secret time machine to talk about the future.
So here's the deal. We use the present simple for future events that are totally fixed and on a set schedule. You know, things that are officially planned and you can't really change them yourself. Think about public transport timetables, when a movie starts, the program for a conference, or even when a school term begins or ends.
This little quote right here is the best trick to remember it. Just ask yourself, is this event on a public calendar that I can't change? You can't just call up the railway and ask them to change the schedule for you, right? It's fixed. That's precisely why we say, my train leaves at 8 a.m. tomorrow, not is leaving. It's on that official public calendar.
Okay, so we've tackled the verbs, but what about all those small but mighty words like always, never, often, usually? Where you put them in a sentence is actually a really big deal, so let's make sure we're getting it right. These adverbs of frequency, they add so much flavor and detail to what we're saying, but you can't just drop them in wherever you feel like it. Luckily, their placement follows two very clear, very simple rules, which we're going to cover right now.
Here they are. Just two simple rules you need to remember. For almost every verb, the adverb comes before the action. For example, I rarely go, or she often reads. Easy enough? But, and this is the one that gets everybody, if your verb is to be, am, is, are, the adverb comes after it. So it's always, he is always late, and never, he always is late. Okay, time for a real pro tip. This is a technique that native speakers use all the time, especially when they want to make a story sound way more exciting and immediate. This is the storyteller's secret weapon.
I bet you've heard someone tell a story or a joke just like this. Even though the whole thing happened in the past, they tell it using the present simple. Why? Because it pulls you right into the moment with them. It makes the story feel more dramatic, like it's unfolding right in front of you. It is such an effective little trick.
And you hear this all the time in live sports commentary. The action is happening right now in real time. Using the present simple, he takes, he passes, he scores, is the perfect way to capture that super fast-paced, immediate energy of the game.
All right, we've covered a lot. Stative verbs, future timetables, where to put your adverbs, and even some storytelling secrets. Now it's your turn. Let's put all this new knowledge to the test and see if you can spot some common mistakes. Ready?
Let's walk through these together. First one, she is owning 3 houses. What do you think? Exactly. Own is a stative verb of possession, so it should be she owns 3 houses. Okay, number 2. He never is on time. Remember our rule for the verb to be? The adverb comes after, so he is never on time. Perfect. Number 3. The train is arriving at 9 p.m. This is a fixed future schedule, right? So we use the present simple. The train arrives at 9 p.m. And last one, I am not believing that story. Believe is a mental state. It's a stative verb, so it has to be I do not believe that story. So, how did you do?
And that's a wrap. You see, it's these little details, these small, specific rules, that can make a huge difference in your fluency. They might seem minor, but getting them right is what really builds that precision and confidence you're looking for. Keep practicing these, and you'll be using the present simple like a total pro.